Hello and welcome, and it's that of the 20th of December 2018. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like within one's own each risk and their own reward. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 there, after that the Dow Jones. And when we take a look at this market, I got a line in here at 2627.10, and this line represents where the exact price right now is on the monthly chart, 18 average of lows. The 18 average of highs on this term time frame right now is pretty much at that level now, but it was support here and it made a matching high rally. So optimism situation, as it did resist the 18 on November the 2nd, but then it got above it, had a nice leg higher. When that happens, you get back to the 28 level that it's seen in the middle of October. Very important for the 18 average to hold, and it didn't. But it did manage to hold previous low and where this line is, and then get above the 18 quickly, but once again unable to hold the 18. And this time, when it came back to it around the 11th and 12th of December, it resisted the lows and it fell from it on the 13th and 14th of that month. It also got by this low and has had a leg lower. 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles down in a row, each one now noticeably from this point in here. Within the 4-hour chart, we can see just in today that you have the support in here for a bit, you hang in there, you break, significant leg lower. Within the weekly chart, well, this line represents an area which it first supported on a fast move in February of last year, or basically almost 1 year ago. It's supported around the 25-30 level, which means it got by that, and now such it is at levels not seen since well, a little over 1 year ago. And this little rally in here didn't hold the 18, and really if it doesn't hold the 18 and it has a decent sized gain, having a higher low is still fine, but it wasn't able to do that, resisting in here. And again, so this is setting up for an interesting situation. Here's the monthly chart. So it's been nothing but straight up, obviously, for quite some time. I'm going to remove this line in here. Again, it was just to represent where this level happens to come into place, because this is what is determining the trend within the 18. It's been rising, price action usually above it, and when it has a break or it has a price correction, either that from price or that of time, it's what is used to determine the trend and how things just work out and when things switch over and such. For it got below it on August of 2015. Now the question is, with the 18 average going flat, are we going to regain the trend or are we going to break below it? So therefore, this level of support, or the key low, was retested on these two periods in here in January and February of 2016. It successfully supported it, and then when it managed to get above this level of resistance, stabilized within it, and then a very beautiful gain thereafter. So another correctionary move occurring at this stage in here, as it hit the 18 lows in February of this year. For the next 3 or 4 months or so, it stayed within it, had a break above and a chance to get above this high. Technically it did, but not really. It's a matching high pierce above, and then back to this 18 average, decent red size move. It has a consolidation period, but this one here is the interesting aspect, because it's been flattening out a band. It's almost close enough where you can say stage 2, after a flattening band for reversal of trend, is establishing what in this case would be support. I'd still like to see it a little bit lower, because if it's just a little bit below, I'm just going to call that as like a little pierce and something where give it the chance to hold and stay above the key, well, this case around 2630-ish area. But once you go down around 2350-ish or so, then that's a decent sized move. But either way, now that this has been going flat, how is it going to maintain from here? Because to revert the trend, it's going to have to get back towards above these highs. I mean, 18, if it doesn't rally, is not going to be going higher. If it can stop going lower, it will go flat. Thus, a neutrality stage, sort of like the case was throughout the year of, well, in this case, the end of 2015. The last half of the year there, that was where it got the neutrality stage, and that's what it would be here. But if there's any situations that can make this thing revert the trend, and what would they be? Well, one of them is just continuously huge, large moves. If this just keeps on going lower, at some point you're just going to have to say, like, wow, that's a big move, and this 18 is just going to start to go like this, really crazy. And then as well, is this going to do something of the nature to show reversal of trend, like I mentioned within the stages, establish some sort of level, manage some sort of rally, either that through price and or time within the band, and then do some sort of setup where it's like that, and then, okay, looks like we're going to be having some legs lower more than anything. And in a situation like this, if it's going to have a leg lower within the monthly chart, and I'm going to switch this to the Dow Jones from this point on, that it's going to have a decent move. We got resistance here. There's a lot of empty space that it's going to be able to be looking towards filling. This has got, again, the same sort of result. This is the 18 average of lows on the monthly chart where it supported it here, resisted the 18, and even furthermore, as it goes towards this, spends a couple days now resisting what it used to support, and it's just a decent size leg lower. Down 1.56% yesterday, down 1.57% today. Pretty much a repeat day as far as its decline, but now down over 3% over the last 2 days, and from this high going from 24.8 to 22.8, that's close to about 9% down in about a little over 1 week time. Now for myself, looking at this on a trading perspective, especially when I'm comparing to things like cryptos, I always talk about buy low, sell high, which means basically in this game, if this is a chart of something you're trading, and when you get something that just keeps doing this, well, how fun is it? If this was a chart that I started trading at the start here, I mean, I'm not really concerned about any type of down moves because it's all about protecting profits. If you enter in here, then maybe I would buy and sell a little bit here, but regardless of the fact, I'd be selling in here. And a lot of my buy orders, in fact, all of them, would have been hitting back. Hit some sell orders here, possibly buy back the lows. If I do, I can sell this high again. Sell all the way through here. Maybe get a little bit of my sell orders back, but all these sell orders are pretty much dead now, in the sense that, or the sell orders turned to buy orders are pretty much dead. That, oh, I sold here at 522, I'm waiting to buy right now at, say, whatever, 360 or whatever that number happens to be. Yeah, it ain't coming, obviously. And then nothing but selling in here, possibly buying a little bit here, possibly selling here, possibly buying here. And then if you're just trading this on, of course, much shorter volatility, then oftentimes that can mean just things like this to get, of course, you get more trades this way, where you could easily be selling at these top area here, buying at the low end, but most certainly doing things like having buy orders here filled, selling here. If you're selling here, you most certainly are going to be buying at that point there. And then just even little things like this, selling here. If you're able to do that, maybe you're able to buy that, which means you're going to sell here, maybe sell some more in here. And then as you continue to move forward, you're not going to be making any buy orders until some of these, if you have, definitely be selling something here, which would maybe get bought back here. This order would maybe get bought back here. This order possibly might get bought here. Either it doesn't or it misses, of course. But regardless of the fact, you're going to be buying during the 2008 fall. And then, oh, yeah, I bought here at 8,200 Dow, and I ended up, say, maybe selling it at 11. Okay, I'm going to put a buy order here or something, all that type of nature. Markets continue to go up. So obviously what you're doing is selling, 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 selling. And now you see a move like this, and it might mean, well, maybe I might start buying because I've gotten into this thing. I've hardly been buying at all. let's just say this is a crypto. I got a crypto that's up like 100x, but because I keep on selling all the time, I'm only up like, say, maybe 7 times or 5 times, 6 times because I've sold so much early. But that's fine in the world of mechanism of trading because profit is profit. Now, as far as stocks is concerned, you're trading such, always having risk reward strategies in place. How are you going to best benefit how markets move? And realizing that a situation of point A low, and this is again just, there's more lows below this, and this point B high means that if this thing is going to roll over, where it came from is going to be this area here. And if there's going to be a decent sized move, this was pretty big capitulation. Is it possible capitulation can come back here or even worse? And well, I mean, we've seen 1929 to 32 on here as it lost several folds going lower. So most certainly there can definitely be haywire within these markets. But as I even look at it mathematically, if the market happens to be down here and it goes to like 1920, there's going to be a lot of fear, panic, and just people talking about, oh my goodness, people are losing on this market. And that is the case for people who buy up here, up in the higher areas. But people buying in here, buying in here, buying in here, buying in here, for the average fund, of course, is still up at this stage. And when you're playing the game of markets, you're going to win, you're going to lose. And there are going to be times where you got to make sure, how can I establish the best profits, because winning is going up, losing is going down. And that's what markets will have its turn changing from, down to up. So it changed from going up to down to up, and at some point it's going to change to going down. And it's showing signs that it might be the case, because we've seen this week on the more shorter term, comparing this to the monthly, that it's making a statement that it wants to possibly revert the trend.